Youth Commission meeting on July 19th, 2019 at 5 p.m. At the City Hall, room 1600, is officially called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Can the recording secretary take roll call?
All right, thank you. Chairperson Alberto Cruz.
Present.
Mayoral Representative Roy Rodriguez.
Present.
Vice Chair Joseph Acevedo. Present. Mayoral Representative Alternate Members Alec Bonta. Ward 1 Representative Alternative Members Daniel De La Cruz. Ward 2 Representative Alternative Member Gregory Guzman. Ward 3 Alternative Member Leslie Luna.
Present.
Ward 4 Representative Alternative Member Anaí Benavides.
Present.
Ward 5 Representative Alternative Member Andres Medina.
Present.
Ward 6 Alternative Member Representative Shirley Munier. I hope I said that right.
Yes.
Thank you. And Ward 2 Representative Associate Member Alternative Member Brenda Medell. Yabokoro.
First order of business are public comments. This is a time and place for the public to address the commission on matters on the agenda and within the jurisdiction of our commission. And as always, public participation in meetings are encouraged. I'd like to state for the record that if you use language or make statements that disturb the orderly conduct of this meeting, I will give you a warning. If you fail to comply with this warning, I may turn off the podium microphone, interrupt the audio recording, and or ask that you be removed from the meeting. The city's rules and procedures for addressing the commission are in the back of the request to speak form if you would like to review. Also, we will not accept any additional requests to speak cards once we begin the public comment session. If you haven't already done so, please give your form to the recording secretary.
Chairperson, just a bit of information. If you take a look at the agenda, it does call for introductions and presentations. It does also have an area on the second page for public comments. You're always more than welcome to move that up, okay. As long as it is mentioned at the beginning of the meeting. So you're more than welcome to continue with the public comments at this point in time.
Okay.
But if you wish, you can continue as what we have in front of the agenda there, which would be any introductions or presentations at that point in time, followed by the consent calendar.
All right, then we'll begin the public comments later on then. The first order of business are the introductions, presentations.
That is correct. And in future meetings, if there is some sort of introduction of any organization in the public or that will be presenting, it will be listed there as well as at the presentations as well. Since there is none, you can move forward to the consent calendar at this point in time.
Alrighty, thank you. Then we will move on to the consent calendar. So the first, to consider matters under the consent calendar, items include number 1 and 2. Do any members have any corrections to the minutes or items they wish to pull for separate discussion or abstain on? None? None? Okay. Do I have a motion to consider items number 1 and 2?
I motion.
Second?
I second.
All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Matter approved by unanimous consent.
Do you need to say their name, Bill? For the record? Just say your name, yeah.
I forgot to push it. Yeah, just because, again, when the recording goes into the city website, individuals that hear it, it's not being recorded as I think normally it would be at the city council chambers, so it's not being recorded on video, it's just mainly audio. So that's why we ask that when you do make a comment, to please make sure you say your name so it can be noted on the record. So can we go back to the motion? Who did the motion?
Me, Meunier.
It was you?
I, Commissioner Rodriguez, motion.
Okay,
I, Commissioner Meunier, second.
All right.
thank you.
Next order of business would be the business calendar. Let's consider new businesses. Be items number 1. Yeah, item number 1.
I'm sorry, Chairperson, before we continue to the next item, do we also have any, a motion to excuse absences?
I, Commissioner Meunier, motion.
Second?
I, Commissioner Medina, second.
All of those approved, say aye.
Aye.
All of those opposed, say no.
No.
Matter approved by a majority vote. All right, so we will move on to business number 1.
And thank you, Chairperson. So, item number 1 is the elect of the fiscal year 2019-20 Chair and Vice Chair of the Youth Commission officers. So what you want to do at this point in time, Chairperson, is you would open up the floor for nominations of the Vice Chair. Once those nominations have been suggested, then you would close the floor, and then whatever the nomination of the individual is, then you would say that that's who has been selected for the Vice Chair, and then you will reopen that up again for the chairperson position.
So we will open up nominations for the Vice Chair. Anyone who would like to nominate, please.
I, Commissioner Rodriguez, nominate Commissioner Acevedo as chair.
Oh, Vice Chair first.
Vice chair. Oh.
Vice Chair first.
Then I nominate Commissioner Cruz.
I second. I, Commissioner Meunier, second.
Okay. Any other nominations? Okay. Nominations are now closed.
So you need a motion now for the.
All right, so we will now motion of voting. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All of those opposed say no. Matter approved by unanimous consent. All right, so now we will move on to the chairperson. We will open the floor. Anyone who would like to nominate the chairperson?
I, Commissioner Rodriguez, nominate Commissioner Acevedo as chair.
I, Commissioner Meunier, second.
All right. Any other nominations? All right. The voting is now closed. So now we will vote as a commission. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All of those opposed say no. Matter approved by unanimous consent. So,
Chairperson and members of the commission, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. I know that you called for nominations, and it was moved by Mr. Rodriguez and Ms. Meunier, but I want to make sure that those are nominations that you guys agreed upon as a whole. If that was a suggestion, or if that's actual a motion, and I want to make sure that the rest of the commission is okay with that, because when we did ask for names, that was for nominations, not as a motion yet. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that. Okay, so the next question is that if that is the case, if everyone is in agreement with that and there's no more nominations, we'll accept the motion and move forward. Is everyone in agreement with that? All right, thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to business number 2. Item number 2.
Thank you. What you have before you in your packet is the creation of a potential youth commission work plan for fiscal year 1920. And basically what this is, we do this with the Board of Recreation and Parks. You decide what goals and initiatives you'd like to accomplish this year, and you have attachment 1 as a sample format of that. None of the things written in there is in stone. Those are just examples of things that you may want to consider. And so this would be, I know we're starting a little, actually it's the beginning of the fiscal year, so we're okay. If all agree to put together a strategic plan, a work plan, then we'll come back and we'll have like a workshop and at the next meeting, and we'll have an agenda item, and you'll come back and talk about what you all would like to accomplish this year. And so if you look on your sample, for example, the first one under community outreach is commission to tour parks, facilities, and programs. That's something you may want to consider as you go through our park system, some of the capital improvement projects that are taking place, or some of the things that you're interested in. We could take potentially a tour. Another thing you might consider is attending any of our events that happen and serve as the ambassadors to the community. You might be working booths, and I think you do this already, and speak with the community. Also, you might consider inviting guest speakers each month for potentially like a 10, 15-minute presentation on things that you are interested in. You could have that at the beginning, or somewhere in the middle, but it's just to inform you on what's happening within our community. Another thing you might consider, I put under special projects, is to create an annual Youth of the Year award program to honor and celebrate youth in the community. I'm not sure if you already do this, but you could make an official type of program for that. Another thing I'd like to propose that you should think about is we have a national fitness campaign that's coming on board, and I'm going to show you a video in just a second in the next couple of items to be ambassadors for that program. So there's going to be 5 fitness courts installed throughout the city at different park sites, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So you don't have to decide on what type of things you want in here. I guess basically tonight is would you like to have a goals and initiatives for the 1920 year? Things you may consider also take money, and that's okay. I would just want you guys to put down the things you'd want to do. And so, for example, another youth commission I worked with had Fill the Backpack. So they purchased backpacks, filled them with supplies for school, things of that nature. That costs money. We worry about the money. So whatever you want to put on here. Some of you may want to attend a conference, a youth conference. So maybe you decide 2 people are going to go to a conference this year. Don't worry about the money. We'll take care of it. So just kind of your ideas of what you would like to do for the year.
Do any commissioners have any questions, comments on the matter? Well, first we should motion, right, to approve? Do I have a motion to approve item number 2?
I motion. I, Joseph Acevedo, motion.
Second?
I, Shirley Minier, second.
All right. So, do we have any comments, questions about this? about the item? So just to be clear, we're talking about approving the fact that we're going to have a plan, basically.
Correct.
We can decide what plan we want to do later. Is that kind of?
We'll come back the next meeting,
Yeah.
and this will be on your agenda, and then you're going to decide, we'll have big sheets of paper, and we're going to write down things that you say. And essentially, this is something that you should have as an agenda item at every single meeting, because you may have ad hoc committees for certain items, and then those folks would report out on those type of things. So this will be back every single meeting. But for sure, next meeting, we'll have kind of a workshop and let you guys decide, throw some suggestions out there.
All right. So we did approve it, just to be also clear, right?
Yes.
That we would do this, okay. So,
Yeah, the recommended action is to approve the creation of a youth commission work plan for fiscal year 1920.
All right.
And also, I didn't mention that at the end of the year, I would recommend that the chairperson make a presentation to the city council. Everybody show up, just to let them know what you have done. And also throughout the year, the city council may assign you to things, and you can, this is fluid, you can add things to it in any time you want to, so.
yeah, so in that case, we can move on to number 3, discuss and provide input to, the video.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Okay.
Let's do that under operational reports. Under informational items, number 1, operations reports. We'll do it that time.
Okay, so we'll move it on to, under informational items. So now we will move on to number 3.
Okay, this is an item to discuss and provide input to help program the cannabis revenue set aside for youth services. So this is one of those items that the city council has assigned to you all to come up with ideas for youth programs and services that you would like to see. There is approximately I'm sorry. My name is Lisa Ridloff, Executive Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Services. This is an item that the City Council would like your input regarding the spending of the cannabis money, which is approximately $3 million. There are really nothing is identified yet for this funding, but we want to get your input, and I imagine that there's some speakers here that would like to speak on that. And if you do, please fill out a card and turn it in so you can come up and speak. So I'm looking for your comments or suggestions. Again, don't worry about an amount, but things that you feel that youth would want as programming, services, things of that nature. You don't have to all decide tonight. We can also come back, and this might be something you want to put on your goals and initiatives to determine, what youth services should be, funded with this money. So do you have any comments or suggestions, or would you like to go to public speaker?
Yes, and any comments from the commission on how to delegate or, use this money? Or,
So we're discussing right now, as an idea, possibly we could open up more paid internships, because for students that have to work jobs to support their family, it's hard for them to do unpaid internships, which are important for the professional world.
anyone else? Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. I think it's really important to reward reward students for their efforts in doing internships and stuff like that. And this can help them in that way. I know that I've gone through internships in my life, and I haven't been paid for them. And I've helped out a lot. I've gotten a bunch of experience from it. But I think it's really important to reward those who, have low income homes and who want to really do the work experience and get money from that as well. But that's my personal thought on that. So anyone else?
Oh shit, that's really loud. I just wanted to put out there that I would also feel that an important asset for this money to be spent on, or to be, Commissioner Medina for the record, for this money to be used on should be towards college, more like college awareness. I understand that the district, SAUSD, already has a designated college night, but I feel that unless you're part of an SAUSD school, you kind of could get a chance to miss out on this event. And I know that there are many charter schools throughout the city of Santa Ana that could use something like this to be able to increase the amount of students that we have from the city that go out into different colleges, because I'm used to hearing, I'm going to UCI, I'm going to UCLA, I'm going to Santa Ana College, and that's all local things, and I just feel like an important asset would be to increase awareness and send our students out there to other places that isn't just Southern California.
Any other comments before we open it to the public? No? Oh, yes.
This is Commissioner Acevedo. I just want to say I also agree with that, because I know when I had that committee at Santa Ana High School, they mentioned one of the things they would like to see more of is students going beyond our community and getting experiences out of state or farther upstate. So maybe if we were to do that, we could try to purchase hours from like representatives at schools out of state, or funding panels where we invite speakers from out of state and farther away schools to come to the city. But I would agree with his sentiment.
All right.
So in other words, in that case, we would have to do the city version of it, since the district does their own version of it. Since I would imagine we can't just get someone to talk to and just put them to school. We'd have to coordinate with the district in sense, because it is different agencies and all that.
Okay. Any other comments before we open it up? Okay. All right. So now we will open up to the public. Can I have Michaela Perkins from OCDE Foster Youth?
Yeah, so my name is Michaela Perkins. I'm from Orange County Department of Education Foster Youth Voice Representative. I just want to start off and just say I think it's so awesome that you guys have this committee here, because a lot of cities don't have this committee, so I just want to say that. One thing that a lot of youth that I work with actually wanted to see, and especially in Santa Ana, was a cultural class. So a lot of the foster youth that grow up in the foster care system don't have a lot of family that are actively in their lives. So they are asking if you guys can create maybe a cultural class so they can get to know their culture and their heritage more. Another thing that I think a lot of people can agree with as well is housing, especially for our at-risk youth, our high-risk youth. Right now, I'm not sure if you guys know, but a lot of group homes are turning into STRTP, which means it's high mental health. They have all that. But a lot of our, I really hate this mic. I feel like I'm loud enough. Do I have to speak in it for recording? Oh, okay. Is that better? Oh yeah, it's so much better. Okay. So I think that a lot of our youth that are high risk, they don't qualify for STRTPs. And right now with Orangewood being a 10-day center, it's really difficult for them to find places for these youth to live, and as well as sibling sets. So that's one thing I would say is housing. And also for teen moms.
What is STRPT?
I really don't know what it stands for. I'm not going to lie. Do you know? Because I know you work at one.
SP.
It's more of just like they're including therapy and.
Yeah, it's like a therapy, like they have therapists on site. They have more like a clinicianal team on site, and it's like 6 months, right? They can live there for 6 months. Compared to before, they weren't really supposed to be there long term. It was supposed to be like 3 months. What else? Oh yeah, for teen moms. So I was a teen parent myself. I had my son at 16, and there's not a lot of housing opportunities out here for us. I feel like a lot of youth are becoming more and more pregnant younger and younger, which isn't the goal, but it happens. And I think that we need to like have more housing opportunities for them. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Can I have Jasmine Regalado from New Alternatives?
Hi guys, my name is Jasmine Regalado and I am a foster youth liaison at New Alternatives. I work at a group home, so today I basically got some information from them and I asked them what services would you guys need or do you guys need more? And they actually came up with a lot. So one of the first ones is counseling, because right now our CGUs, they stopped coming to our group homes, and our clinicians on site are always busy, so they don't really get to be there for the kids with therapy or because they run those same classes of anger management, the clinicians, so they don't have a lot of time. So I was thinking maybe actual groups that go out to like group homes and teach them about anger management, about vocational, about housing, how to actually get them into a college, how to teach them how to do everything, because right now a lot of these kids, they're going with the staff to help them, but it's not consistent. So I think they need somebody consistent to go there regularly and actually help them and give them advice with those types of things. So that's one of them. Rehab programs. I only know of one right now. A lot of our kids are actually really deep into meth, marijuana, Xanax, and it's frequently that they're coming home high, so I think that they need like an actual rehab center.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just a reminder, for all the speakers, it will be 3 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so
I'm sorry.
programs for rehab, so maybe that's included in the people that come and help them with vocational stuff. Another thing, sorry, I didn't know it was 3 minutes. Kids in college, they need laptops and computers. It's hard for them to get them through, getting it on their own, and then they're paying for school. I mean, they're paying for housing and then food and everything like that. So getting a laptop is kind of hard from my own experience. So maybe like scholarships for them to get that. That's another thing. And then I'd say just maybe have classes for foster kids, because a lot of them don't know how to cook, how to properly clean, how to do things in our adulthoods, because we didn't get taught by our parents. So I think that's a very big thing to teach them, like cooking, cleaning, house stuff, how to pay for things, just in general.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Thank you very much.
No problem.
All right. David Quintana.
Sorry, let me just adjust it. Hi, my name's David. I'm not really from anywhere. I'm actually a current foster youth. I am staying in a transitional housing. They've been wonderful. It's the same program, New Alternatives. I wanted to be here. I was invited, and I wanted to talk about a couple things that I personally struggled with. And I feel like a lot of support should be going towards that, like physical health, mental health. Personally, like I've had physical issues that weren't tended to when they should have been. And I see that it becomes an issue when it comes to money and stuff like that. I never ended up getting glasses. I'm actually holding off right now on glasses. It's kind of hard to see, you know what I mean? And there's people that have worse problems than me, like scoliosis that isn't tended to. We aren't talked to, like I've never been talked to by anybody about like sex, like going Planned Parenthood and stuff like that. I would have to go to a different program to see that, like Orangewood Foundation. I was never talked about that, like at my housing situation and stuff like that. Recently, I got like a really bad migraine, and I personally didn't know what to do because I know I'm allergic to penicillin, and it's like, who do I talk to about these kind of things? Like, there's no classes about that. Like, just a simple over-the-counter medication isn't provided at certain group homes. You have to go through a doctor, and you have to go through all that process, but it's like, I wasn't prepared for that, and I don't know what to do about that. Like, I had to call someone and be like, hey, what can I take? Does this have penicillin? What do I do? Like, I had to find a nurse online. Like, I had to do the effort and stuff like that. And I think this is all things we should be taught when we're young. Like, I wasn't taught any of this when I was staying at a group home or anything like that. I wasn't told, how do you call Medi-Cal? Like, I didn't even know what insurance I had. I didn't know if I had CalOptima or Kaiser. This was all things I didn't know, and I had to look into it myself. And it's very scary when you're going through certain things, like sex, for example, STDs. Like, I wasn't really brushed up on that, and it was very scary for me to look into that. Like, who do I talk to about that? I didn't have anybody to reach out to at the time, and it was very intimidating to do certain things like that I should have been taught. And I was just wondering if we could put those funds towards classes like that and just knowing about our own anatomy and stuff like that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And those are all the public comments. All right, so would the rest of the commission want to discuss this a little bit still? I know a lot of, we've been presented with a lot of foster related issues that we want to see in the community, that people in the community want to see. And obviously this would target the youth demographic as well. It's something that we can think about as well. Any comments? Yeah.
It's okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Lisa Rudloff, Executive Director, Parks, Recreation, Community Services. I think there were a lot of great suggestions. This is just some things for you to think about. Again, this is not over this evening. I think you should put this as a part of your goals and initiatives to really discuss this. And then the things that you choose, that could be what you are going to be focusing on this year and perhaps next year. So I think it's a good start. It's not just a one and done. I think we should continue, and then we'll move on, and we'll let the city council know what we think we should be funding.
Yeah, and I think this is maybe the organizations that you correspond to, maybe they can become potential presenters just to know more about the foster youth and how the process is. I haven't gone through the foster youth system. I don't know about my colleagues here, but I would love to know more about what the youth here in Santa Ana especially are going through when they're going through the foster system. So that can definitely be a leeway to us. Yeah. If there's no other comments, then we will be moving on.
So what we'll do is we'll capture all these comments and bring them back to you within the minutes. And then we'll bring it up again as we discuss our work plan and go from there.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
So informational items. Number 1, operations reports. The Youth Commission Liaison.
Lisa Rudloff, Juan Lara, we will have a written report of kind of the top things that are going on within our department and within the city and report them out to you. This time we didn't have time to do that, but we will. So we're going to give you kind of a verbal, and we'd like to show you a video of the National Fitness Campaign. If we can cue that up real quick. Do we have...
Campuses with city parks and trails, we're bringing free fitness everywhere, and we're just getting started. Hi, I'm Ed Fernandez, founder of the National Fitness Campaign. National Fitness Campaign was founded in 1979 when we opened the first fitness court. Redesigned for the 21st century, fitness court is the world's best outdoor gym. Our 7-movement, 7-minute system allows you to use your own body to get the perfect workout. Easy or hard, it will work for you. Our goal is to build healthy communities by making outdoor fitness an essential part of people's lives so that each day is better than the last. This year, 2,000 certified ambassadors will be trained to deliver classes, challenges, and clinics as part of our National Fitness Campaign. We'll also be hosting
Thank you, Hiram. Lisa Rudloff. The City of Santa Ana received three $30,000 grants for fitness courts. We'll be installing our first court at Jerome Park. And so there is a big national movement behind this, and this is what I was talking about. Potentially, all of you can be our ambassadors for this program. And so as we move forward in these courts, we have 4 locations identified. We're looking for a 5th, and what I'd like to do is actually have one in each ward of the city. And so these are free to the community. Like you say, you have that app, and then also we'd be looking to you all to help promote this. So we're looking for sponsorships and partnerships as we go to build these things. So that's the National Fitness Campaign, and I wanted to share that with you all tonight.
Thank you so much. We will now be moving on to, yes, sorry.
Juan Lara, Youth Commission Liaison. And again, just for our speakers and for the information for our Youth Commission, we do have a family resource center in the city, and it is actually housed out of one of our community centers. That's the Corbin Family and Resource Center, located at 2215 West McFadden Avenue, and they provide wraparound services for the entire family. So you're always welcome to refer anybody that needs any sort of assistance, whether it be a child, an adult, or a senior. And this Family Resource Center is able to provide a variety of services and referrals. So just for, again, general public knowledge. But also just to begin to get the Youth Commission acquainted with the Parks and Recreation Agency. In case you did not hear of our very successful 4th of July celebration, we had a huge 4th of July celebration. Our 9th annual 4th of July celebration took place at Centennial Park this past 4th of July. Of course, a lot of the youth commissioners that have been involved with the Youth Commission for some years now have been involved in activities there, and we hope to continue that practice as the event itself continues to grow and attract more of an audience. We also do have a annual youth talent show coming up as part of our summer vacation recreation program for children, and you may receive an invitation to serve as a judge for the talent show competition, and we hope that you all get, again, involved. in this activity. Just as a reminder, also, and because it is getting relatively hot, our aquatics program is in full swing, and we do offer open recreation swim at all of our 5 pools throughout the city. It's $1 for child and $2 for adults. So get the word out, help us to, let all of our residents know that all of our pools are open Tuesday through Sunday. And they can come to their, closest recreation center that has a pool and then just confirm the times. But for the most part, they run from 1 to 2:30 and from 3 to 4:30. But other facilities do offer different times. And lastly, for elementary school age children, we will be opening enrollment for our after-school adventures program. It's an after-school tutoring and recreation program that's offered at all of our recreation facilities, and we will be opening registration for that program at the end of the month. Okay, and that's it.
All right, moving on to commission member comments. Is that all right? The Youth Commission may comment on All right, before we move on, I would like to acknowledge City Council Member Iglesias. Thank you for attending our Youth Commission. And we also received another request to speak form. And please come in. Chris Schnitt from Windsor Villages.
Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Chris Schmidt. I'm a longtime resident of Santa Ana. I live in Ward 6, and like you, I'm also a commissioner. I serve on the Environmental Transportation Advisory Committee. Sorry, Hiram. I serve on the Environmental Transportation Advisory Committee, and I sit in these same chairs during our meeting. This is an exciting time for all of you. I know that you guys used to have a very small budget, and you did some great things with it. Helmets, handouts, you guys are amazing. But now you have $3 million. And I want you to be bold. And I want you to spend and get that money spent right away, because if you don't spend it, it'll be gone. I don't know if they're getting it in one lump sum, or is it quarterly? Do we know how it's working? They get $3 million right now? Okay. So it's usually over every 3 months we get sales tax revenue for the city. So just to let you know, on the ETAC earlier this year, they asked us what did we want in the budget, and we asked for about $400,000 for trees, medians, and we were told we didn't get it, but we don't stop. Carl Benninger and I go to a city council meeting. We still need money. Now we're working with the council member to get that money. So even if they tell you no, keep pushing. If it's something you want, keep pushing. What I want is a bookmobile. We used to have a bookmobile that everybody loved, but I want technology with it. Computers, Wi-Fi hotspots, 3D printers, something that kids can learn. We have a huge digital divide in our city. Not everybody can have a phone or Wi-Fi or internet. So if you could please request that, I would greatly appreciate it. I forget the gentleman's name, but he worked for Parks and Rec, still does. He did an arts program several years ago. Forget his name, but it was very popular. $50,000 to do an arts program. So what I want you guys to do is make sure you request it, talk to your city council members, make sure they're aware of what you're requesting, so when it goes before the city council, they're knowing that you're asking for it. Thank you all very much for taking the time to serve on this commission and make our city a better place to live. Thank you all.
Right. So, commission member comments again. The Youth Commission may comment on non-agendized matters and ask questions or give directions to staff. No action may be taken on non-agendized items unless authorized by law. So I would like to open the comments. Commissioner Rodriguez?
The one thing I have to say is I hope to see what the future holds for the commission, as well as all the work we're going to do later on throughout our fiscal year, as well as together with Parks and Rec directly now. We're going to have a lot of new connections that we didn't have since we were kind of limited in a sense. So let's see what we hold for us.
Thank you. Commissioner Acevedo?
I also just wanted to say that I'm glad that we have this new arrangement and that it seems we do have a very organized year planned out ahead of us. I also wanted to thank everyone that came to make a public comment. And I know that a lot of you came on behalf of foster homes, so if you ever have youth that want to speak, even if we don't have a large budget at the time, they're always free to come to a meeting, and we can see how we can help.
Commissioner Luna.
Similar to what my two colleagues have already said, I am excited to see what we will accomplish this year working alongside Parks and Recs. And I also thank all of the public speakers who came and spoke about what's going on with most importantly in the foster homes. And thank you so much for coming out here today.
Commissioner Benavides.
So I know that in the past it's been pretty difficult to come up with a set out plan because the meetings are so spaced apart. And so I was wondering if there's a way to have a meeting in between the meetings, not every single time, but just like once, so that we can like spend a lot of time figuring out what we want to do with money because we're pretty limited. Yeah.
Yes, Lisa Rudloff. You can put together ad hoc committees. We can have workshops like the next portion of the beginning of the next meeting, we'll have a workshop on your plan. And we certainly can have meetings in between and anything that you all want to do.
Awesome. Thank you.
Commissioner Medina.
So similar to what Commissioner Benavides said, I also think, and I'm relatively new, but I've been noticing it's kind of hard to get things discussed or to get things done since our meetings are so far apart from each other. It's like by the time we have the next meeting, a bunch of things pop up, and then the things at the last meeting we don't get to anymore, and it's like, but for comments, just kind of a side note, I would like to know more about the youth talent show you guys brought up. That sounded interesting. I don't know if my colleagues also found that interesting, but I thought that was pretty interesting, and I would like more info. Regarding the last meeting that we had, Commissioner Acevedo brought up district involvement with the commission, so getting the commission involved, correct, with the district. I just wanted to know where that's going to be heading for the future. I want to thank the public speakers that came out and talked to the commission regarding the foster system and what foster youth in the city need. And thanks to the gentleman that came out to talk about the bookmobile and how he would like to see more technology specifically for youth since many can afford. And lastly, I would like to thank the new staff for putting this together. It's a first meeting under Parks and Recs, and it was a great meeting, so thank you for that, and I hope we have many more.
Commissioner Munier.
Yes, I'd like to start by congratulating Commissioner Cruz and Commissioner Acevedo. In addition, I'd like to thank the people that came out. I know this has been repeated a lot, but thank the people that came out and took time out of their day to speak to us about things that we could possibly help with in the city and specifically towards the youth. It has given us a lot of food for thought, so thank you.
Can I make a comment as well? Absolutely. Thank you. Again, I would like to ditto what my peers have said about thank you for coming and letting us know. Thank you for telling us your stories of how you've been struggling even through the foster youth system. And we will definitely strive to make the youth of Santa Ana great. And I would also like to thank once again City Council Member Iglesias for attending. I know this is probably out of your work hours, but it's definitely something that I appreciate. And I would like to congratulate Joseph Acevedo for being our new chairperson, and I would like to thank everyone else in the commission for electing me as vice chair. I too am excited for our partnership with Parks and Rec, and I agree with Commissioner Medina in that this was a very organized, very great partnership that we have with the Parks and Recreation staff. And I hope that we can decide on what we want to do with this money later on. And thank you again, City Council member, for helping us and letting us know and see what we can use this money for in investing in our youth in Santa Ana. So, thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Lisa Rudloff. So I think that, again, don't think about the money, think about what you want to do. We can figure out the money, but really go back and think of what you've heard, talk to folks and around the community, where you live, where you go to school, and remember, you're representing the entire city. And so what's best for this community for youth services is what you need to think about. And so I'm looking forward, and Juan Lara and all of us are looking forward to working with you. It will be a successful year, and when you go back and report out to the city council at the end of the year, they're going to be blown away. So good job, you guys.
All right. This meeting is now, do we, a motion to adjourn? I'm very sorry about that. Do we motion to adjourn?
I, Commissioner Medina, motion to adjourn.
Second?
I second. Commissioner Rodriguez seconds.
Okay. All right. This meeting is now adjourned.
Good job.
Thank you.